Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Colleen, and every month I've been trying to make about 4 or 5 different freezer meals to help stock that freezer. Now, the past few months have been rough. You're gonna see some videos today from what I filmed in like February, some things I've done in March. I kind of fell off track a little bit with it, but I am gonna share with you 4 delicious dinners that were pretty easy to make and my whole family loved. So let's jump on into it. For our first freezer meal, we are making gnocchi. You can use leftover mashed potatoes. I made about 3 pounds of potatoes from russets. I'm just mashing these up to my liking, and then I'm going to put it all over my mat. This is going to be how I'm going to knead that dough together. We're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I have 3 large egg yolks that I have beaten together. And then we're going to sift 3/4 cup of flour right on top. With a scraper or really whatever you have, we are just going to start mixing and chopping all of this until we start forming our dough. So we have cut in the flour and the eggs, and now we're going to shape it into a ball using our hands. Well, it's not the prettiest, but it is springing back a little bit. It's not as sticky as it was. I think I'm gonna add a little more flour and then start dividing it up into ropes. Okay, we've got our divided piece. We're just gonna roll it out into a log for us to cut up our gnocchi. Now we're gonna cut this into about 1-inch pieces. Here's how that first batch is looking. I am coating a little bit of flour, and I'm going to go ahead and cut up the rest of that dough because there is a lot. I let the gnocchi freeze on a tray, so that way all these individual pieces wouldn't get stuck together. We did already make some. This made about 3 pounds, a little more of gnocchi. So pretty much 3 pounds of potatoes to 3 pounds of gnocchi, which is an awesome deal. I'm gonna freeze these from frozen. You can just place in boiling water, and once it floats, it's all done. I am going to attempt making some apple chicken sausage patties. I found this ground chicken in my freezer that I got forever ago. I have this really sad looking apple and this really sad looking onion. And take these and some spices and make some chicken apple patties. Went ahead and cut up my apple and added all of that to my bowl. I have added in about half a diced onion. I have added 1 pound of ground chicken, and I'm just gonna give it all a quick mix. We're gonna add our seasoning, about 1/2 teaspoon of each and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. You can add whatever extra seasoning you like. We're gonna wanna make sure everything is mixed up really well. I definitely seasoned, mixed, and seasoned to give it lots of flavor. To a hot skillet, we are going to add the chicken sausage in to brown on each side. Then flip them over and brown the other side. So these came together really, really fast. I haven't tried one yet, but my husband did. He said they were pretty good. So I'm going to let these cool and then throw them in the freezer for a future meal. You can just heat up like normal in a skillet in the microwave. Pair it with your favorite foods. I am making some funeral potatoes for my freezer meals. I shredded up about 2-ish pounds of potatoes. I have them soaking to get some of the starches out. I shredded 2 cups of sharp cheddar, chopped up half an onion, got salt and pepper, and I'll be using 2 cups of sour cream. To our bowl, we have our 2 cans of cream of chicken, our diced onion, and our 2 cups of sour cream, and add your salt and pepper and give it a quick mix. So this is a 9x13. You can make it in 1 dish or you can make it in 2 8x8s. I have sprayed it. I'm gonna take half my hash browns and layer them on the bottom. We're going to take half this mixture and layer it on top. And now we're gonna add about half our cheese. Okay. And now that we have our first layer, we're gonna do a second layer, hash brown, that soup mix, and cheese. Now that we have our second layer of cheese on here, we're gonna cover it up, put it in the freezer, and it's good for 3 months. We're gonna go ahead and put our aluminum foil on. Now I'm gonna note here to top with half a stick of butter, and crushed Ritz. We didn't have any Ritz, that's why this is for later. It's good for about 30 days. Go ahead and label what it is and directions. Today we're making breakfast burritos casserole style. We're going to start by sauteing as much onion as you like in butter and oil. I decided to go with some just mild country sausage, and we're just going to brown it on up. To our greased pan, we are going to add some frozen hash browns. You can do the ones that have like peppers and onions in it. We're going to top that with our cooked sausage and our onions. And then we are going to top it with about 6 beaten eggs. You can do more depending on how many eggs your family likes. It is at this point I wish I mixed everything up together, but I didn't. So we're just going to go ahead and top it with your favorite cheese. I went ahead and shredded up some pepper jack to add an extra flavor to it. We are going to add our casserole to a 350-degree oven. Our casserole was in the oven for about 45 minutes. I've checked it. The potatoes are cooked. Everything looks great. I'm going to let this cool, and then we will assemble our burritos. All right. Our casserole mixture has cooled. These are the tortillas I am using. You can use any you like. I like them because I've got lots of fiber in them to help you feel full. So we're just going to go ahead, put some of that in here, wrap them up, good to go. All right, I've got my parchment paper and my tortilla. You can use whatever kind of tortilla you like. And I'm just going to take a scoop of this. We're just going to go ahead and put it right in the middle. We're just going to fold it up like a burrito. Okay, and we're just going to try our best to fold it on up. I'm going to take this, put it in a Ziploc bag. It's going to the freezer for 3 months. I got 13 burritos, mostly because that's all the burritos I had. These are going to go in the freezer. They should be good for 3, maybe 4 months. And mark what they are, the date, and when you're ready to eat them, just wrap them in a wet paper towel, throw them in the microwave, and you're good to go. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, think about sticking around, hit that subscribe and like button. I will be endeavoring to share every month some different freezer meals to add some variety and make your lives a little bit easier. The freezer meal that was by far my favorite was the gnocchi. It was a little bit of a labor of love because I had never made gnocchi before. And it's definitely something you can either prep the potatoes, any kind of mashed potatoes you like, or if you have leftover potatoes and you know your family is not gonna eat all of it, you can easily turn it into gnocchi, throw it in the freezer. I have reheated it a couple different ways, both just boiling in water, but also like in some sauce dishes, like in a one-pot meal. Both turned out really good and delicious. Now the other freezer meals I made weren't my absolute favorite, but they were relatively pretty easy to make and they did taste good. So it might be something we throw into the rotation, but they might not be a go-to for us. Now, the chicken sausage, that turned out really good. It didn't make as much as I was hoping that it would make, but in a pinch, we did pull it out and we did just like microwavable, like freezer, like broccoli. And then we added, I think we made rice with it too. So it was just like a really simple dinner, but you got all the food groups there. I will say, if you ever make those funeral potatoes, don't bother shredding your own. That was very time consuming. Use the frozen and make life so much easier and it'll still be just as good. For the breakfast burrito casseroles, I love the idea of making everything in there so it's all, because I've tried making in my last freezer meal like these breakfast crescent roll-ups with like cooked eggs, and it was such a pain to try and roll all those up. So making it in a casserole is just kind of plop in the middle of a burrito. Definitely easy, game changer, gonna do that again. However, my ratios were off. It was definitely like too much potatoes versus the eggs and the meat. It is something I'm gonna try making again. We've heated up quite a few of them and they taste really good, but it's definitely more of like a potato like burrito, which is fine, but it's not really what I wanted. So we will try it again just with different ratios. And what's great is, again, you can customize it to whatever you like. So if you want like sausage and peppers or any other kind of veggies in there, spinach, like you can add that and it'll taste so good. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you all on the next one.